So this is one of many archaeological sites here in Jerusalem. This is the Wohl Museum, W-O-H-L. It's right near the synagogue, main synagogue here. These are 2,000-year-old homes that they have excavated in the upper city and wealthy, and we're going to take a look and show you a little bit more. So this looks a little bit like an entrance area. Now these homes, actually that could be the mikveh. So the homes all had private ritual baths called mikvahs. Basement storage, mosaics, and we'll get to see more of them. But this is a beautiful museum. The way they've built the walkways to help preserve but also give you access. So as you come down the floor here, there are the mosaics. And we've got a glass floor where we're able to look right down at it.
So it's basically a 2,000-year-old mosaic.
Yep. So there's this one. There's also another there. It's beautiful. It also, with the glass floors, explains our booties. Yes, you have to wear those beautiful looking little blue things on your feet, and that's so you don't scuff the glass. So this is a ritual bath, also known as mikveh. You can see the steps going down. There would be water down there, and this is how they ritually cleansed and purified themselves. So not a bath like we think of. It's a ritual one. But yeah, they would go down one side of the steps into the water, dunk themselves, and then come back up the other side. And that's why you actually see the steps being a little bit different on each side. Okay, so this is what's called the Western House, because it's on the western side. Ooh, big shock. But as we're looking at this, then we read the description. You can see there's a little marker there, and then they've got a whole little brochure that you get to read that tells you. So as you look at it with the floor, this is in the basement area of the home. There is the bathtub. So they would come downstairs. They would actually rinse in the bathtub here to remove dirt and so forth. And then they would make their way over from there through the mosaic and then to the mikveh. And this is where they would ritually immerse themselves. So if you look, actually, that little guy right there is where they would keep a vase or a pitcher of water to rinse the feet. And then they would go down one side, immerse themselves into it, and then as they came up, they would come cleansed and pure up the other side, and then back into the mosaic room. So that's what this room was for, and you can kind of see some of the other foundations, walls there. I am kind of curious because there is, it looks like another stairway or something over there. Not sure what that is, but yeah, just beautiful. And obviously, with those mosaics, they had money. Another mikveh, give you a little bit of a visual representation of it there. And you can see all these walls. There is a lot to look at in here. I'll give you an idea. There's a cistern right there too. So this is some images that show you a little bit about the actual excavation that they did here and some of the work that happened. And they also have a wonderful little movie, so we're going to go in and watch. So after the short movie, then you come down to another huge spot. Again, let you look down and see just how far down some of this goes. You can see remnants of mosaics there. And just, wow, there's a lot here. And look at this mosaic. Wow. So this is a couple interesting things here. You can see that they've hand painted to finish up the mosaic so you get an idea what the whole thing would look like. Now, one of the things you'll notice about these mosaics is there are no animals or people in them. They're just patterns. That is one of the religious things that you'll notice about everything here. Additionally, you can see some of the pottery and other things that they found here. But the other thing that's very interesting is this mosaic is not the first one in this home. This is the entry area. They actually lifted this mosaic up and found another one, which they have on the wall there. And that was originally below it. And then they redid a whole nother mosaic. So, in just several different mosaics here, there's actually even a fragment there of another one they found. So these people have money. But it's also amazing how well these things have held their color over the years. And there's just more here. So much to see down in here. And it comes around a good bit here. And then there's more downstairs. But you can see they've got this all anchor trying to preserve. Looks like another one of the baths down there. So you can see some of the columns that they found here. And then again, this is part of the courtyard area. And stone tiles. And again, the color is still there 2,000 years later. So this is a copy of something that they found. And let me see if I can get you a little bit better look here. You can see that there's actually a menorah image on there. Again, this stone is 2,000 years old. And here's your copy of your temple menorah on it. So one of the evidences that there was definitely a temple here. There are some people that tried to say that the Jewish people were here. Yeah, sorry. Archaeology pretty much establishes that. But yeah, 2,000 years and they find this stone etching of a menorah, possibly by somebody who actually saw the real thing themselves. Pretty amazing. So this is interesting, is that you can actually see some of the frescoes on there. They've got the lights on to kind of help illustrate what it would have looked like originally. But that corner, there's definitely part of the original, and they're using that to establish the pattern. And then there's more over here. So you get a good idea of what this would look like. This would have been a fancy home. My goodness. Just gorgeous. And then this is illustrating some of the destruction. Just, you can see this is all burnt and scorched. So there's a huge layer when you're digging down that just looks like this. That shows the destruction that the Romans did in AD 70. And again, some of the ash and charred beams and things that they found digging. Then as you come in the end, there's a little show here that, and then more relics and a memorial to the hostages.
הגעתם בדיוק בזמן. מי שלא ראה ירושלים בתפארתה, לא ראה עיר יפה מעולם. מי שלא ראה את בית המקדש בבניינו, לא ראה בניין מפואר מעולם.
So this is the basement area. You can see the arch, that would have been storage. And this is nice because they actually let you come down and walk in here. And again, more mosaics, more frescoes. And then from where we're standing, there's another mikveh that you can go into. And there's remnants of stucco on there. So just very interesting to be able to come down and walk into it. So there's a look at the Wohl Museum, W-O-H-L. From here, we're going to go over to the burnt house and then also make our way over to the synagogue because apparently there's some ruins and stuff you can see there as well. Very, very cool. And you come outside and there's your Western Wall. You find interesting things here, like the Rova market, food and fun. And what's really interesting about this is they have stacks of toilet paper outside. What kind of fun are you promoting? So this is the burnt house. Another one of the little small museums and archaeological finds here. There's several objects in here, such as the covered Roman channel. And then there is a movie over here in the other room. You can actually get this as part of a package deal with the Wohl Museum and the synagogue and other places. So we're going to come in and take a look at this little presentation and look at the actual ruins of it. Very cool. Now, due to copyright things, I'm not going to be recording the video for you. You want to see the video, you got to come here. So there, neener. Okay, so a little bit of adjustment for food, thanks to my wife. We have shawarma with no pita, no garlic, chickpeas cooked up special, salad with no tomatoes, and then for me, fries. We're going to share it because there's so much food. At this point of the day, we were getting pretty tired, and so we decided to head on back home. But we wanted to give you a little look at just some of the many very little sites you can find just exploring around Jerusalem and the Old City. So we hope that you enjoyed this little look. And if you're ever in the area and on your own, explore, look around. There's places like this all over and just so much to see and do. Thank you so much for joining us along this little trip. Hope you enjoyed it. God bless.